Hi, I'm Liberty. I'm a Camp America returner this year, and I thought I'd just do a bit of a Q&A on Camp America itself and working on a summer camp over summer, because I've got quite a few questions on my TikTok and I just thought it'd be quite useful because camp is actually coming really soon. And just in case you didn't know what Camp America is, it's basically I kind of want to say a cultural exchange program, but you can kind of do it from not any country. You can do it from most countries, and Camp America is an agency where you can go to America for the summer, work on a kids' summer camp, and you get paid. And then with your earnings, you get 30 days on your visa to spend them traveling around America. So I did this last summer, and honestly, it was such a good summer because you make so many good friends and you just have such a good time. You act like a kid. You literally get paid to bring out your inner kid and have the best time and act like a older sister to such amazing campers. So honestly, I recommend it. I mean, obviously it's tough because you're away from home and you're working such long hours, but it's honestly what you put in. I know this is cringe because so many people say it, but it's what you put in is what you get out. But I'm so excited to go back this year. I can't believe it. So I'm going back as a social media specialist this year, and I'm also working with Camp America as a Camp America influencer. So if you want to check out any of my videos on TikTok, my TikTok is xLibertyTurner, especially if you want to see what camp is like, because I've got some ideas of some videos just to kind of show people what summer camp is like and show them that it is literally like a film. It doesn't feel real, especially as a Brit. It's such a culture shock, and honestly, when I tried to come home and explain to my family colour war, breakout, rope burn, it's I can't even put it into words. Anyways, I feel like I've completely rambled, but I'm going to answer some questions that I've got on my TikTok about Camp America. Just kind of, if anyone is going to camp or wanting to go to camp, you can just get some clarity, or I can answer your questions. But obviously, if you have any questions that I haven't answered, please do leave a comment and I can obviously answer more questions. Okay, so the first question, do you think 21 is too old? No, absolutely not. There are some people who have been to camp all of their life, they've been a camper and they grow up as a counsellor. So some people have been there for 18 years. I'm going to be 20 this summer. My boyfriend's going to be 21. On average, I say people are around 19, 20, 21. But some people are a lot older. Some people have just turned 18 and they've just finished school. So honestly, it doesn't really matter how old you are as well. It really doesn't matter as long as you're there to have fun. But I think 21 is definitely an age on average. I was one of the younger ones. In my bunk with my counsellors, I was the youngest. Anyways, how do you travel after camp? Do you meet people that usually want to travel with you? Definitely, you meet people at camp. I didn't book anything before camp because I got told that you will meet people to go travelling with. So at my camp, because my camp's based in upstate New York, everyone went to New York after camp. Well, not everyone, because some people went home, but that's where people would go. And then there would be group chats that people would make, that quite a lot of people went to Nashville. Me and George actually went to visit one of our friends who lives in Texas. So we didn't go to Nashville. There are people who you will travel with, we just met up with people. And we went to Boston after New York, and then we met up with two of our friends, and then we went to Texas, and then we went to Vegas, and then we met up with some of our friends and stayed in an Airbnb in LA, which was so good. And then we went to San Francisco with them as well. You will definitely meet people. So with my camp, a load of people, they actually hired this massive Airbnb. It was around 50 people all went to Nashville from my camp, and they stayed in an Airbnb, or loads of people, they made group chats at camp and they all went together, because everyone goes with the, well, not everyone, but the majority of people go with the same mentality to travel after. You will find your people travel to places. And because my camp was very big, we have over 100 staff, so it's kind of impossible not to find someone who's going to go where you're going to go. And also, if people aren't going exactly where you want to go, you do have to compromise, but obviously you'll find your friends and you will travel. I know it sounds daunting when you haven't gone before, but 100% you will find your people. What camp am I? I go to Iroquois Springs. It's based in upstate New York, and it's really close to New York City. We're so lucky, me and my friends, we would just go on our day off to New York City for the day, because I think it's less than 2 hours. I think it's an hour and a half on the train. to New York City, so I'm very lucky. Can you get Amazon or delivery to camp, or do you have to take bits with you, like theme bits? So I think it varies from camp to camp as to whether or not you can order to camp. My camp, you could order to camp. I personally didn't, because I took stuff with me that I needed. But people did order to camp. They had post to camp as well that their family would send them. But in terms of bringing themes, my camp, they come out with a calendar of everything, all the events. So that comes out a couple weeks before camp, and it just tells you all the events. So what I do is I try and take everything I can, because it just makes me feel more like reassured that I have everything. And even if I don't have everything, someone else will. So for Colour War and college days, we had our different team stuff, and I made sure I had like a few bits. But what was so good is, I didn't know this, but the kids, they come so prepared. So they brought different accessories for each team colour. So if they weren't on that team, they'd have stuff going for spare. So they let me use their stuff, which was so good. Or if they didn't, someone else would have stuff. So you do just like borrow stuff, and people are so willing to share their stuff, which is so lovely. But yeah, you can order stuff to camp. Obviously it depends on your camp, but for my camp you could. Also, you have days off where you can go to the mall, or if you go into New York City or a city where you can buy stuff. So yeah, don't worry about that. There's always going to be an opportunity for you to buy things or order things online, or someone will have it, or well, it was most likely that that's going to happen anyway. How many clothes did you bring? I never know when to start cycling through them again. How many clothes did I bring? So I'm actually going to camp with hand luggage this year. Wish me luck. I'm relying on my packing cubes. I have compression packing cubes. They're so good. So good. Like, I have practice packed my bag, and it does fit. It all does fit. So I've got a personal item, which would be my backpack, and then I have a carry-on, which I'm allowed 23 kilograms. And it's like big enough that it fits my stuff. So how much clothes do I bring? Like 3 oversized t-shirts. I'm taking this shirt. I'll take probably 5 croppish tops in different colours, just to like cover all the areas in case there's a theme, or just like to have a variety so I don't get bored. And then I have like some like longish tops that with like straps. I'll probably take like 3 of them, but I'll do a pack with me video where you can see that in a lot more details. And then I'm also going to take, I think, 2 jumpers and a long sleeve top as well, because it gets quite cold. So what I did last year is I actually had quite a lot of funky clothes. When I say funky clothes, they were like bold tops, like with patterns, because I like bold clothes, like personality kind of clothing. And what I found last year is I got quite bored of them, because obviously if they stand out, it's obvious that you wear them again. And I don't know. So I found that I actually bought quite a lot of stuff out there. What does lax mean? Lax, it's lacrosse. It's just what they call lacrosse. It's like LAX, lacrosse, the sport. But yeah. How many weeks are you there for? So for my camp, last year I was there for 7 weeks, but I'm a specialist this year, and so I'm there for 7.5 weeks, because I have a bit of media training before. But I think for different camps it does vary. I think it's normally like 7 or 8 weeks. But if you're a lifeguard, you have to get there a lot earlier. And for me, the kids are only there for 6 weeks, but for other camps they're there for 7 weeks. So it honestly depends on the camp. So if you're looking for a certain amount of time, you look at how long you want to be there roughly. But last year I was there for 7 weeks, because we had 1 week of orientation, and then the kids came for 6 weeks. Out of everywhere you went traveling, where would you recommend going? Out of everywhere, my favourite place was LA. I know it's quite controversial. Quite a lot of people say LA is not a good place to travel because it's quite dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous. I was fortunate enough that I went with a group of friends, and one of my friends had a car with them because they were living in LA at the time. So I was so lucky. I think if I didn't have a car, it would be a completely different experience, because we'd have to rely on Ubers or public transport. I've heard the public transport in LA isn't the greatest, and I know that it is quite a dangerous place. I really like LA because it was so cool, because you see everything in the movies, like walking up to the Hollywood sign, although me and my friends hiked the wrong hill to the Hollywood sign. We didn't actually go to the Hollywood sign, we went to the wrong hill. That was so fun. We walked for an hour up this hill in like 30+ degree heat. We were up the wrong hill, and then when we came down there was a wild coyote and my friends ran away, and then one of my friends sneezed and it scared it and it ran away. So yeah, but anyways, I recommend LA because you can walk down the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't know, I've just always wanted to go to LA. I was supposed to go to LA after my GCSEs, but then COVID happened and we had to cancel it. But it just felt like it was fulfilling a dream going to LA. But also New York as well. I mean, city that never sleeps or whatever. I loved New York as well, and Vegas as well. It just felt like just unreal. Vegas was insane because everything that you didn't think would exist existed in Vegas. Like, they have these oxygen bars where people would just like go and have like oxygen as like a spa, and I was like, oh my gosh. And there would just be, I'm not gonna lie, Vegas opened my eyes a lot. It really did. I was like, oh my days, like the lights, the strip, like I was like, how is this real? Because it was like in the middle of a desert. I don't know, it was like I think everywhere was so cool, but I think those three were just so surreal. Like, you've heard so much about them, and actually going there is like insane. But also Vegas wasn't as expensive as I thought. I mean, food was expensive, but the accommodation, I think we stayed 4 nights for £111 or something, but I think that was split in half because there were 2 of us, but that was the cheapest place we stayed. Yeah, but Vegas I think is so cool as well. So that's all I have for now. Obviously, if you have any more questions, please do let me know and I can try and answer as many as possible. But yeah, Camp America, literally a fever dream. So I'm not traveling after camp this year, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, because I have some really cool things planned. So I land back in the UK, and then the day after I'm helping out with my friends on a play in London. I'm doing the social media for that. And then I have Taylor Swift, which one of my friends from America is flying back to come and see with me. And then I am flying to Thailand. Yeah, and then doing a working holiday in Australia. So it's a busy time, but I'm so excited. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Please let me know if you have any more questions. And if you are interested in signing up to camp, check out the link in my bio where you can learn more information. You can register your interest. So yeah, anyways, thank you. Bye.